two different words we have here as a definition. We have enemy, and we have another word called enmity. Before this video started, I shared a video of a cat laying down with two dogs. The word enemy goes into a meaning of a person or thing or someone can do something to you, or you could do something to them, and actually they can become your enemy or you could become their enemy. It is based on something or someone doing something to you, or a family member, or anything, or even to your property. A person that can become your enemy based on those type of things. Or a person can just become your enemy based on what you heard about them. There's different ways how you could become someone's enemy and someone could become your enemy. However, the word enmity is different than the word enemy. Now, the word enmity, that goes into the definition of hatred without a specific cause. It could be hatred that is based on a spiritual nature. It could be hatred based on you hate the entire race or nationality of someone. Whereas a person or individuals did not do anything to you. However, you position yourself as an enmity of theirs. Now, when you look at the animal life, okay, cats have what you call enmity towards mice. Cats originally, when they see a cat, there's a hatred that is inside of them towards mice. So the moment a cat sees a mouse, you don't have to train him to want to hurt that mouse. You don't have to train him to want to kill that mouse. He's not even going to kill that mouse based on him being hungry. He's going to kill that mouse based on that mouse existing. So a cat, when it sees a mouse, he automatically have within inside of him enmity. The enmity says, I want to kill you. I want to hurt you. I want to destroy you based on just the way how I feel about towards you. Let's say, for instance, a dog. A dog, when he sees a cat, originally, and this is just what's inside of dogs in general, they hate cats. They hate to see a cat alive. They want to kill him. That's the innate nature of a dog towards a cat. Although in the video that I just showed, we have a cat laying down with dogs. Now, even when it comes down to enmity and that deeply rooted hatred that is there towards a cat and a dog, if taught to love, if taught to see the individual as valuable, even enmity can be taught out of an individual. When you look at white supremacy, or when you look at black supremacy, there's an enmity that is actually spiritually interjected to a white supremacist. When he sees a black individual, he looks at the black individual as useless. He looks at the black individual as not even worth life. Years ago, the black nationality itself was not even considered human in the eyes of white slave owners and in the eyes of the teachings of the Ku Klux Klan. We were only considered, I think it was 2/5 of a human being. So therefore, whatever the white slave owners and so forth done to us, they didn't they didn't feel as though they were actually doing this to a human being, because we wasn't considered human being. We were considered only 2/5 of a human being. So they could rape you, they can rape your children, they can do whatever to you. And at the same time as they can kill you, they can cut off members of your body. They can celebrate the massacre that they bring on your life and look at you in a state of enmity, whereas I hate you regardless. However, there's some white folks that have been taught to love black people, even the ones that were actually raised with Ku Klux Klan type teaching. They have been taught now, you know what? I'm sorry, I don't look at you as a black person the way how some of my ancestors looked at you as a black person. They actually see you as a human being. Black supremacists also practice a state of enmity towards white folks. They look at white folks as, you know what, we're better than you. Some black supremacists even call white folks white devils. They look at white people as being destined for hell, whereas they look at black people as to be above white people. And that type of teaching is just as disgusting as the teaching of white supremacists teaching white folks that they're better than black people. It is a reverse type of teaching of enmity that is actually taught. As I was explaining before, that a dog could actually be taught to love a cat just as well as a white person who's a white supremacist could be taught to love a black person that is a black supremacist, and vice versa. If cats and dogs can learn how to love and actually dismiss enmity from their heart, then people can learn it also. When it comes down to enmity, there's a place in the Bible, in the book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 15. It speaks of Satan and the seed of the woman, which is to come, or which was to come at that point, Jesus Christ. When mankind, which was Adam, fell into sin, the next verse, Genesis 3:15, says, I will put enmity between the serpent and the seed of the woman. Now, the seed of the woman, which was to come, was Jesus Christ, which was going to bring salvation. As Jesus Christ brought salvation, the serpent which was Satan, would actually challenge Jesus Christ and actually hate Jesus Christ. He was trying to destroy Jesus Christ. And he would try to also destroy the people that will accept Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. So the Bible itself, in the book of Genesis, when it comes down to it, we have 3 chapters before the term enmity was ever interjected. So the word enmity was showed in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, to show you how drastic the hate would be towards Satan and the seed of the woman, which is Jesus Christ. Now, the terminology seed of the woman is not a term that would actually describe a woman that has a seed, because mankind, as human beings, as far as men, the male species, The male species is the one that actually had the seed, who is actually put it into the woman. Now, the seed of the woman in the book of Genesis is referring to Jesus Christ being a seed that was actually placed into the woman to actually produce Jesus Christ, which where enmity is described for the first time. However, as you continue to read the Bible, you'll find out that when man was allowed to begin to eat animals, such as in the later parts of Genesis, you also find the word enmity being described there also. Now, the word enmity started to be described in the later books of Genesis because now there became enmity against animals towards one another. So now you have animals that are actually desiring to kill one another for the sake of territory, for the sake of position. So this is one of the reasons why now in the animal kingdom, what we have is we have a symbol of coyotes hating lions. Regardless, if a coyote sees a lion, he wants to kill him, he wants to destroy him, and vice versa. So that is another instance where you see enmity being practiced amongst animals. Not enemy, enmity. Enmity is that deep-rooted hatred. It is that deep-rooted hatred where you see a lion trying to destroy a coyote, where you see a cat trying to destroy a mouse, where you see a dog trying to kill a cat. That deep-rooted hatred. So animals have it, and people do too. However, it can be taught out of you as an individual, because we as people, we think on a higher scale than animals. So if an animal could be taught to break away from the chain of enmity, if an animal could be taught to dismiss a nature of hatred towards something or someone, people can as well. And this is why hate teachings or black supremacy or white supremacy is at the root of ignorance. It is at the root of enmity. It is at the root of destroying someone for actually no reason. So I share that as a black history teaching or a black history understanding, that you as a black person don't have to hate a white person, and a white person don't have to hate a black person. That's dismissing enmity. Happy Black History Month.
Hey everyone, I basically want to come and do another short video showing you all exactly what I displayed to my class, the Punnett Square. Before I get into that, it needs to be first understood that the oldest individual to ever be found on the face of the earth was a woman given the name of Lucy, who was African. She was found in South Africa. This literally ended all arguments that anyone on the face of the earth did not come from African people. That means that African people are the father and the mother of the entire universe. Now, the Punnett Square. This is what a Punnett Square is. This is what we use in science to display genes and genotype. This right here is 5 groups of people, the 5 groups of people of color. You have the black, who is the African, the brown, who is considered the Middle Eastern, the red, who is considered the Native American or the Latin. You have the yellow, who's considered the Asian, and the white, who's considered the European, just to keep it simple. Now, these 2 big X's display the African, because we are genetically dominant. Anyone that doesn't understand that black people are genetically dominant is a person that has first been miseducated on themselves. We've been taught to think that we're inferior, but the science behind it is all black people are genetically dominant. Now, The two small x's are white people, recessive. White people are a recessive gene. That means that when they have children with a black man or a black woman, all of the children will have the recessive allele masked by the dominant allele. So when you look at Thandie Newton from Norbit, she has a British father and a Nigerian mother, but she still displays blackness because blackness is dominant. When you look at Barack Obama, who has a Kenyan father and a white mother, he will still be black because black is the masker of his white. It's literally dominant. The same thing goes for Tiger Woods. So literally, anytime a black has a child with the brown, the child is now black. Black has a child with the red, the child is black. Yellow, white, the exact same thing. This is where racism comes in. White people are literally 16 to 18% of the entire world population, making them the minority. The thing about whiteness is it's a recessive gene. So you literally have to have two white parents in order to be white. So when Dylann Roof says you're raping our women, what does he mean by that? He means that anytime a white woman has a child with a black man, those children are not white anymore, because in order to clarify as white, you have to be 100% white. Well, to the people that are already the minority, it is extremely important to hold on to the genetics that they already have, because their genetics are already recessive. So think about prison. Why are so many black men are in prison? Because if you're in prison, what are you not doing? You are not having children. Why does it seem so many black American men are turning homosexual? So many black women are lesbians. Because if you are lesbian homosexual, you are not what? You are not procreating your race. The basis of racism is white people understanding that if we do not kill black people at all times, that they will eventually kill us. So when you look at black men being pulled over by oftentimes European police officers, shot and killed for no reason, is because they subconsciously understand that if I do not kill him, that he's going to kill my children with his genetics. Racism is not simply somebody hating you because, you know, you got this fly car, or because they don't want to see you do well. White people do not want to go extinct. So in order for them not to go to extinct, they created a system called racism, white supremacy, in order to kill black people. Black people because we show the strongest genetic variability. So when you go to Africa, you're going to see a lot of different diseases that target black people, because we have got to diminish your numbers if we have a chance of living and surviving. This is the reality of racism. So we've been taught to hate our skin, we've been taught to hate our lips, we've been taught to hate our wide noses, we've been taught to hate everything about blackness, because really we're dominantly strong. Think about Venus and Serena Williams dominating in tennis. Think about Tiger Woods dominating in golf. Think about all of the amazing, basketball players that have played in the NBA, amazing NFL players. The majority of those individuals, if not always, are people of African descent, are black people. That's not coincidental, because we are genetically strong. We are genetically stronger than any individual on the entire face of the earth, and the European knows that. So if he wants to live for the next 200 years and have blue-eyed, blonde-haired children,